Good morning, everybody. How are we getting on today? Let me see that I have everything. You can actually hear me. Bum. Got some music. We've got our overlay working. This is fantastic. And for those of you who have been following along, this is the first time that my chat overlay should work. So if anybody sends a message in the chat like this, test. Look at that. Beauty. A lot of fun. I got in there first. So this is pretty cool. So thank you, Nick, for your test. I've got all the badges working properly. So you are a what are you? You're a VIP, a founder. Guess that means a thing. And you're a Prime Gaming badge beside you, and they're working. And so are emoji. And what are the other things? So emoticons? No, what's Twitch calls them something different. Emotes. So emotes and just emoji work as well. So it was surprisingly hard to get it to work because it's quite a difficult setup. But it's working. We'll have to have somebody try. Nice. Look how perfectly aligned that is to the message. Let's ignore that aspect of it. There's also... It technically should work for the like animated emotes, but I think they're only cheers. I think when you do bits, it does that. So I don't know if anybody can. Yeah, I can't see any. Anyway, we'll move on. This is my introduction, as you can see by the overlay at the top. Today I only want to do two things. I want to do a rebase for a pull request that I have going on over here. Let me explain what this project is. This is a project by a friend of mine, Mel Sumner. A really cool project. It's really quite useful. That lists all of the accessibility violations that you could that you could have in an application, in a web app. So for example, we know about this like WCAG. Oh, I need to filter out my pretzel messages from the chat, but anyway. So we know about these WCAG level A what are they called? The word for that, but I can't remember what it is. Criteria? So if you were to make sure that your app didn't have any of these failures, so like actually did all of these things correctly, then you could be WCAG level A certified, or whatever the right word is. But this is a particularly cool project because excuse me, because it tells you if you can automate the check for this thing. So you can lint, or you can test against this abstract roles thing. So you shouldn't be using abstract roles should not be used. So you can test against this automatically. So you don't have to manually test it, but you could also manually test it. But you can see this one, color differences in alt text. Don't exactly know what that rule is, but this says that there's not currently a lint, but it could exist. There's not currently a way to test it, but we could, theoretically. So you must manually test it. Pretty cool. So the merge request that I worked on takes these sorting criteria, which is pretty cool, and puts it in the query param of the URL, which means that if you sort by something and then you refresh for any whatever reason, it will keep the sorting for you. Hey, Dragon Blood, how are you? How you getting on? What do you think of my new chat overlay? You're now there when you chat in the stream. Okay, so let me have a look at this. So, looks like a beast. I assume that's a good thing. Okay, so here we go. Deploy preview. Have a look at what this does. Potential violations. Bing, bada, boom. It was just taking for it to actually show up. There we go. Oh, we've got a VIP in the house today. Cloda 13. I'm going to actually make you a VIP. VIP Cloda 13. And she is watching the stream. Cloda's my wife, who should be in the other room. Or the other building. I'm in an office at the end of my garden. Cloda is watching the stream for the first time with my two daughters. So my oldest is almost 2 in a few weeks, and she's probably totally like weirded out. What's Daddy doing on TV? Hi, Barry. Anyway, let me get back to it. So yes, so here's my pull request, and as you can see, look at that, sort by linting. Pretty cool. You refresh the page. Oh, that's actually something that I should probably fix. You refresh the page, bing bada boom, and the sort order stays there. But you may have noticed there's an extra column here. So somebody else that I happen to know, and I was encouraging him to finish the pull request, added a new column, which is pretty cool. This is a very useful column. Know what WCAG level a particular rule has. So my implementation that changed all the columns is going to conflict with theirs. So I just need to go find the repo. There we go. Find the repo. Bing bada boom. That. No new line. Don't care about that. Let me go and find it on my computer. I'm going to move my terminal over here so y'all can see what I'm doing. cd git open source Ember A11. There we go. Fork. Have it here. Ooh, lots of stuff happening. Sort query param is the one that I'm working on right now. Let me just fetch to make sure that I have everything in. And that's in the wrong window. In there. There. Okay, so fetched, that's good, and let's rebase upstream. I got a bunch of conflicts. Exactly what I was expecting. So, what I did is I changed, there was a bunch of this kind of like copy and pasting of the table header and buttons to do the sorting. I changed all of those to sortable table header, then the field name, the sort order, etc., so that we could quite easily. Let me take. What's going on here? Level. Web aim level. Okay, so what actually we need to do? A header, the table row. Yeah. So we need to do. We need to take that work. Use me. So now it's my work only. And now we're adding manually the table header back in. So let's go and probably need to install. Oh, actually, before we do that, let me see. Oh, it's yarn. Boo. Yarn. Not a fan. Talk about yarn on stream. Oh god. I will not talk too much about it. I will complain on stream when I have to do yarn install, yarn add. I will not complain about it. Makes me sad, that's all. NPM's way better. Oh, come on. Doop doop boop boop boo. Okay, so we're gonna go and start. Oh, license field. Should sidebar status have updated? Maybe. What's going on here? I'm having a bit of an issue. The sidebar status is still a manual process. Yes, is it manual? Yes, it is manual. So I have to go in here and I need to manually move my class active to the right thing. But if I do that, then the Ember server will restart and then we'll lose our we'll lose the chat that's been there so far and we'll lose our time. So we will fix this at some point. The thing that I used to use with the infamous live that was outside of the box at the top has like a where is it, server. So it has this thing, app.get up and get down. So you can just do like a curl up and down and it moves to the next issue. Which is pretty cool. That's the idea. In the future, I could probably do it in a half an hour. But I just don't want to right now because I want to do some open source. Ooh, what's going on here? Broke something. You must pass function as the fn help as first argument. Fn. Odd. Anyway, Ooh. What happened there? It was very strange. Okay, so let's just take another one of these things. We want to have the field to be WebAIM level. And we're going to go in here and find the text. Where's the text? Level. And that's it. Pew, pew, pew. Cool. So now, okay. So that's the rebase fix. So maybe I need to continue my rebase. Get it to do the query parameter thing. I have a feeling I probably did that as two separate commits. Ah, yeah, that's exactly what I did. So push, force push, push. Now, there we go. Oh, it's wrong though. Hey, Ski Boy Ski, what's wrong about it? Oh, yeah, because let's have a look, see. Commit. So in here, I must have, yeah, I changed it from this dot sort, but I didn't do that for the last one because it didn't exist. Do you change this to sort? This is at sort order, at sort by. Nice one. Aren't we probably? Oh, that's a separate issue. Okay, cool. Commit. Bing, bada boom. Push. Force push. Boom. It looks like we have completed first task. In no time at all. What did I do? I was pushing it to here. Don't know if you can hear that music very well, but I think it's pretty groovy. Feels like a mix between Final Fantasy VII music and like Sonic music. I don't know if that's a reference that anybody listening will actually get. Ooh. What is going on? Macs are very strange sometimes. Okay, cool. What do we got here? So we've got some checks. Oh, my previous checks have gone away. Let me see. I don't... GitHub. GitHub issue template. Oh. Travis. One of the other pull requests. Okay, that's another thing. Probably work on moving this over to GitHub Actions rather than Travis. Not actually running tests right now. That's so great. And because I'm not running tests, let me really quickly run them locally. just to make sure that I haven't broken anything. Ugh. Bad broken. Because they're not running. We didn't notice that. What to do, what to do, what to do. Let me see. I'm going to... be a good open source citizen, and I'm going to do a main new branch, GitHub, and I'm going to actually fix the GitHub Actions. I'm going to do new file. Boom. Raw. Boom. I'll not worry about that for now. So actually, yeah. Let me close other tabs, and let's interesting. Oh, because it's not an add-on. It's an app. Interesting. Let's do Node version 12 because there's no point using something that's end of life. Test. What does npm test do? Lint and then test. Okay. So makes sense for us to do. Optional caching. Already has yarn installed. Yarn. Let's just try it with yarn. That. Don't care about floating dependencies. We don't have Percy. Don't have run Percy tests. Have some steps. Checkout. We don't need the lock file thing. Setup node, node version. And then we want yarn. Oh. And we want run. We just do test. There's only test Ember. And then we don't have any try scenarios because we don't have Ember try. Boom, boom, boom. But this looks a bit better. So, I'm going to Travis YAML, delete you, Get you gone. GitHub. Going to push. In my PR. That would probably have broken tests, but I noticed tests are getting run on our PRs. Fixes that. Ta-da! So what do I need now? I need to open a pull request to my main. Gonna do huzzah. Nice one. While we're here then, I should probably back, then push to origin main. Could make this is this working? Boom. Fantastico. Right. The ones. Okay, cool. These tests won't run when I'm a PR from Oh, tests have failed as well. Oh, this is not great. Yeah. Fun times. Okay, so we're well over my first Pomodoro. So let's go into the just chatting mode for 5 minutes and take a 5-minute break. So, what did we just witness? This is the eternal yak shaving of open source development. Try to fix one thing, and then there's 1.5 billion things to 1.5 billion things to change, because you notice another thing, and then it's another thing after that. Sky the Death. I am using Atom because I like Atom. Actually, I realized that I wasn't all zoomed in on Atom. Sorry, folks. If ever there's something you can't quite see, just let me know, and I'll make things bigger. I can always zoom in. Yeah, I'm a fan of Atom, mainly because of its Git and GitHub functionality. I know the entire world seems to have moved to VS Code, but it is too complex for me. It does too many things, and it likes to change my code when I like to change my code. I'd prefer to do that stuff myself. So. Oh, another thing that I entirely missed today. I have reached 102 followers. We missed the 100th follower on stream. We didn't get our notification, our celebration. Who was it? 102, 101. MT Salexandra. Something along those lines. Difficult to pronounce a lot of these things. Okay. So, let me see. I am in my stream dashboard, and I'm going to go in and add some rewards, channel points, rewards, manage rewards and challenges. We completed our custom overlay challenge, and I think I'm going to add in a few extra ones. I'm going to add another challenge. And I'm going to add persistence. I can always never get that spelled right. Let's go and have a look. Think bada boom. Persistence. Distance. To the timer. This will let me have a look. This will allow me to make changes to the overlay while a timer is running, and it won't have the timer start. I'm going to put that in for 30 days, and I'm going to put it down as 3,000 channel points. Create. And I'm going to add another challenge, the 1 minute that we have left. Add a proper, add a button to move the task list forward. I currently need to manually edit the overlay to change what task I'm looking at. I'm working on. This will allow me to push single button and it will progress like magic. That'll also be 3000. Number of days 30. Then there was one other thing that I wanted to do, but I can't remember what it was. Bum 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 bum. Oh, goals. I'll put that in as mark is complete. Confirm. Archive. Aha. I archived the challenge. And then the last one is add a goals UI to the overlay. This will allow me to have goals for followers and what else? And subs, etc. With nice little progress bars. And that I'm going to put in 6,000. Because that'll probably take a stream to do. Maybe I might put it in as 6,000. Got other things. The other two goals are like probably half-hour jobs, maybe. But that one will probably be a whole stream. Okay. Right, let's get back to it. Programming. Persistence. It's me trying to remember how to spell persistence. So let's go and let's change what my current index, my current active thing is. Boom, 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 boom. Oh no, we've just done the accessibility rebase. We're now on to Empress Dev. Dun dun dun. Lots of fun. Okay, so let me see. I just got a text message. I just want to check. Hang on here. Sorry, just replying to my wife as a text message. She might be watching, so this is why I didn't respond to you. Apology. What do? Okay, so let's get back to it. So Empress Dev. What do I mean by Empress Dev? What do I mean by Empress? So I created this thing a little while ago. Let's close these. Close. That's part of the Empress stuff. That's part of the Empress stuff. Close this. Close this. Close this. Close this. Huzzah! So I created this thing a little while ago called Empress, which is Oh, there's an empress.dev, which is kind of empty at the moment. Probably fix that. Lol. Yes, I should fix that. So, Empress is like ViewPress, like Gatsby. It's a static site thing, but it's not quite the same as Gatsby or ViewPress because they're quite low level. They're like how do I explain what they are? They allow you to build things, build static site jam stacks or whatever from scratch. And a lot of the time, the way that you get started with a Gatsby site or a ViewPress site is that you have these things that are starters, where somebody has already created a repo for you, and you essentially fork it, and then you start from there. Empress is different. Empress has these kind of series of products, let's say, like Empress Blog, Guide Maker, Field Guide, that allow you to do one very specific thing. So Empress Blog allows you to create a blog system, and it's pretty cool. You can, it's, if you know anything about Ghost, you've probably seen this template before. It's super fast, it's nice and fancy looking. But the coolest thing about it is that if you really want to get started super quickly, you can just push this button. Go on. Might as well do it while I'm here. Push this button. Connect to GitHub. Do I need to redact anything? No, I don't. Empress Blog, Netlify, Casper template, live stream. I know that I built this on the live stream. Execution expired. Oh, Netlify. Oh, Netlify. You are having issues, aren't you? Let's go and have a look at my one. This is the one that we just figure deploy site. Oh, wow, interesting. Netlify failed. This is the first time that Netlify has failed for me. Let's go and let's delete this one. I sing your praises all day, every day, Netlify. You have let me down in the demonstration. Let's try that again. As per template, live stream. I tested this last week anyway. It's not like anything I'm doing that was wrong. Let's go and change the setting. Although Angry Morse sounds pretty cool. Empress Blog live stream. We'll delete all this in a minute anyway. Deploying your site. So I pushed one button and it is currently building my site. But as you noticed there as well, when I went into GitHub to try and delete this thing, if I go to my repositories, where are my repositories? My profile, your repository. It actually, oh, Netlify's having issues. Experiencing issues with GitHub API requests. I would say that's a major outage, didn't you? Anyway, this won't actually work now because nothing in the repo. Oh, but it looks like it is building. How is it building something? This git clone. Oh. Oh, that's interesting. So it's cloned it from the right place, but it just hasn't put it in my repo. It hasn't copied it to the repo, which is what it's supposed to do. So it will actually build in the end. Anyway, I digress. But the thing sets up a GitHub. It should set up a GitHub repo for you, and puts in some example blogs. You don't have to do anything there, and then it builds it for you in hopefully less than 5 minutes, which is pretty cool. Anyway, so that's kind of a little bit of the point of Emperor's blog. It's supposed to be this relatively simple thing for people to use, but today I have two things that I want to do. Two things. So there's this pull request from Jordan from earlier this year, where we've kind of discussed this not on GitHub a little bit, allowing arbitrary metadata for all content, which I will get into if we get down that far. But there's another thing that he chatted to me as well about yesterday, where he wants his maybe if I change the name of this will I be able to see all of it? That's better. Not the greatest, but it'll have to do. So there is a problem. So another thing like Empress blog is this thing called Field Guide, which is supposed to be for style guide, a tool for you to document things like style guides. So like, you know, if you use this code, it will end up with a button like this, etc, etc. Also things like colors, nice, look at this, very fancy, layout, kind of like container layouts, card layouts, you know, whatever the case may be. This is specific to the Ember style guide, which is another thing that I work on. But Field Guide gives you one of these things. And the problem that Jordan was talking about is that they render all of their Ember components using an Ember add-on. Okay, happens to not be aligned with the future of EmberJS, so we shouldn't be using this, but that's not really the point. The problem is that the way that Field Guide works, it doesn't take that add-on into account. So they may, this is like blah blah blah, you make the Field Guide work with Rob's project, we'll be able to adopt it officially, blah blah blah. I think the point is they may not be using that component in the future. The point is that they will They want to be able to add an add-on in their thing that's doing field guide, and for that add-on, if it's changing the way that components are rendered, it'll actually work. So let us doesn't play nice with add-on namespace and blah blah. We're using field guide, not re-exporting the components in the app folder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a quick look and see what it would take to require this to work in field guide. And then I'm going to see if the template imports thing also works. So this is going to be a little bit low level, I think. So strap in, folks. It's going to be an interesting and bumpy ride. Tabs. Let's go and get our field guide situation set up. Close that now. cd get. Open source EmberJS field guide. Yeah. Fetch. Back up. Go way back. Cool. We are up to date. And let's do our work directly in field guide, because that seems like a reasonable thing to do. Hello, Anne. Welcome. Look at your wonderful chat message over here. It's your first time on screen with the chat message. npm start. I see you've not filtered out the Pretzel Rocks messages. Oops. Yes, I should probably do that. I could probably even do that in my next Pomodoro break, because I think it should be relatively easy to do. I think. Not entirely sure. But I'll give it a quick go. Why is your chat message border white? So it's a good question. So when you come in with chat messages, it's fine. This is the important stuff when streaming. So when the chat messages come in, they come in with a color, and I thought the colors would match what I see in the chat. So if somebody else chats, oh, let me see, is my one? Hello. See, that one matches. So your name and the border match the same color, but it doesn't seem to match 100% of what it does in the Twitch chat. My one is like kind of like burnt umber to me. Mine is also not a color. Yeah, so certain things don't seem to have colors come along with them, but others do. So I just took the color that it gave me and I went from there. Sky of the Death is also the right color. Global name color in chat settings for Twitch. Really? icon to the left. Chat identity. Oh, so you can pick a color that's associated with you. Oi! I did not know that. Thank you, Dragon Blood. So, and if you want to have it show up as a color, you just click your chat identity and pick the color of your choosing. Whatever your favorite color might be. Right. Much better. Cool. Awesome. So, field guide. We've got a button. We've got a thing. Right. So, what is the problem here? So, the problem is Wall Street syntax. Fully futuristic template namespacing Batman. Oh, Robert, what are you doing with your naming schemes? Going here. Oh, that doesn't look good. We have a console log that shouldn't be there. Error. Oops. Shouldn't be there at all. Much better. Dragon Blood coming to the rescue. Cool. So where were we? We were going to install Holy Futuristic Template Naming Batman. Hope you're happy, Robert. You get me to say that so many times on stream. Somebody should clip that and send it to him. Boo. Oh, hey! Thanks, Dragon Blood. Oh, what I need to do... I need to put my alerts above the overlay. And I'm gonna replay that. Boom. Thank you, Dragon Blood. You are a total legend. Where was it? We install the thing. We should then restart. And then what do we want to do? We want to create a component that only exists. Oh. Huh. What version is all this? CLI 19. Odd. Ember D component test stream. Stream test stream. Okay. Now we have a component test stream. But that component we don't What? Let me go back. Okay. So test stream going to be a big old H1. Let's do it this one. H1. Does this work? And we're going to just drop that. Test. Dummy. App. Templates. Okay, so if I do a new file, application.hbs, imagine that will break everything. Fantastico. Then we're going to do test stream. So normal, this is a normal component situation. We then want to go into our app, delete this thing so it's not being re-exported. And then it breaks and it'll say cannot find component test stream. Awesome. And then my add-on will be field guide test meme. So, and you are asking a very important question that is an interesting one, probably more interesting than you quite imagine. So, the size of my screen is 1080p, and I said that like 1,000 times when I was doing my overlay development. So I have 1080 pixels going down in my overlay when I'm developing it, but I am streaming and programming from the same computer, which people don't always do. Professional streamers would always do, and they also definitely try to never stream from a Mac, because for some reason Macs are terrible for streaming. So what is recommended in this setup is to record at 1080p but stream at 720. So it's like downscaling so my computer doesn't explode. And if I continue doing this long enough, and if I can afford to do it or figure out how to do it, I'm going to eventually get a second computer that's my streaming computer, and that does all of the fanciness for streaming, and then I just plug my Mac through a HDMI capture card. Monthly subs for a good cause. Yes, exactly. So I don't think I've ever actually streamed 1080p, but that's the goal. Like, I'll be able to get there eventually. Oh, we've got a new follower, SV Paris, ParJS. SV ParJS. So, it's also one of these things where if I tried to stream and develop on the same computer, it would totally nuke itself. My add-on. So, I now have this working in its normal habitat. And I can go... Ah. A humble creative streamer, but yes, you may be a humble creative streamer, but you get to use all of the pixels. Dragon Blood, you're noticing the thing. That extra syntax is not real syntax. It is a deprecated... Oh yes, my timer is up. I'll share this and then I'll go over to just chatting. So the syntax that you notice, Dragon Blood, it's not real Ember syntax. It's an experiment that Robert Jackson was doing, and it was literally called Holy Futuristic Template Naming or Namespacing Batman. Totally wrong a million times. It's kind of an experiment that was before Ember template imports were even a thing. I don't really know very much about Ember template imports, so if you ask me too many questions, I'll very much get into it. I don't know category very quickly. But the problem that I'm trying to overcome here, the goal for today, is to see if there's a way forward for us to allow that syntax to be used not in the way that I'm using it now, like just in normal HBS, but in the way that field guide is supposed to work. Field guide, you don't write templates, you write markdown files. So you should be able to put that template into a markdown file and it should still render. But because field guide is doing funny stuff, and because Ember Holy Futuristic Template Namespacing Batman is doing funny stuff, the fact that both of them need to play together might not work automatically. So we should see if we can fix that and see if we can make them work automatically. But that's the goal for today. Oh, excuse me. Oh yes, so 3 minutes. Can I filter out pretzel rocks in 3 minutes? What do I have? So I have a server, I have an index. I'm not sharing this because it's in my break, so I shouldn't be showing you text. Chat in my break. Not text. Code in my break. So IO did emit. IO context.username. If IO and context.username not equal to, what's it called? CRETZELROCKS. Then emit the chat message. So that one right there isn't my overlay. That's the one that kind of comes with this funny stuff, all this video purpleness, etc. So that's not my chat box that just showed up there. I make this overlay too? That is a good question. I don't know. I think I would like it to be my overlay, but I'd need like a new view on the for the good questions. Just trying to keep me honest, that's all. But yeah, so I want everything to be so Dragonblood, I created 3 goals this morning. Oh, it didn't enable them. Did I not enable them? Fewer rewards, channel points. Start challenge. Start challenge. Start challenge. Now what did I do there? Did I blow things up? I started 3 challenges all at once. Whoops. So when they're done, I can add another one to like do the chat overlay. The chat overlay thing. Okay, cool. So that's my break done. I'll go back over to programming. So let's see if I broke my chat. Add a goals UI. Okay, cool. So, ooh, this is interesting. It's like votes, so that we can see what everybody is. Oh, persistence to the timer. Oh no, pretzel rock. What did I put in? Pretzel rocks. Why didn't it? I'm gonna really quickly. Context and I'm messing now. I said I wouldn't do this. Oh, that's an interesting point. Did I restart? So it does actually restart. So test. Really, that's me. So let's skip the music. Oh, it's all lowercase. Oh, that's interesting. So I've messed with the... I messed with the server. The application isn't restarting. So maybe I need to restart the thing. Test. So I'm back. And if I hit next... Pretzel Rocks has not shown up. Boop, boop. Okay. Another test. Look at this. My lovely followers. No Pretzel Rocks polluting things. Fantastico. Right. Woot woot. I call that a success. Right. So, where was I? Amazing. Woohoo. So this is our test thing here. I'm pulling out my application HBS so that we go back to the field guide thing. The point here is that we have a components button empty. So we have a markdown here, and we want that same thing that I just pulled out of the application HBS to work. It doesn't. Can I find component field guide test string? And now we have to figure out why. Fantastico. What does this thing do? Preprocessor registry. This is the key thing. HTML bars AST plugin. So I think the thing, this is the kind of key problem here. What I'm doing in field guide is a little bit strange. Components, dynamic templates. So I'm importing the template compilation thing from Ember, and then I'm compiling my template and then registering that as a component and then rendering that component. There's a little bit of a funky like a funky implementation here, but the problem here is that we're not making use of this registry. So what I have to do is I have to find this setup preprocessor registry thing in EmberCLI and see if I can, like, github.com EmberCLI EmberCLI. I think I have to get the registry. Code. And 100% understand how this works. Problem is that EmberCLI is quite complex. Lib. A lot of stuff happens in here. I have it open. Sure I have it cloned somewhere. Git open source EmberCLI. Huzzah. Work. Make this bigger as well, can I? Upstream master. Doing in EmberCLI. I have changes in the EmberCLI stuff. Really? The thing is, they wanted. That's fine. Okay, cool. So now I have EmberCLI open. Regis, the thing that I want to find. Default package. Our default package. We're in Broccoli Ember app. Let's keep that open, close the tabs, and then we want default package. Touching Preprocess JS. Preprocess JavaScript. 3. Call add-ons preprocess tree hook. Package styles. Templates. Process template. So what was the thing doing? Having a look here. This was going in and doing again. What is this? Lib name space transform. Let's have a look. Lib name spacing transform. List syntax.traverse. But that doesn't make sense. The syntax is null. Where does the syntax get set? Does that seem odd to anybody else? So, looks like this thing is an important thing. Transform. Parallel Babel. The Babel thing? If it's a Babel thing, then that's problematic because because that is very fine. So let's talk about this for a second. So the magic of what Field Guide is trying to do here. Back to Field Guide 9 to Ember CLI. Beam overlay, Field Guide. So we have our button. The magic of what Field Guide is actually trying to do is that we take this markdown and we ship it across the network, compiled using a thing called broccoli static set JSON. All. Hang on here. Oh, there you go. And I have preserved logs, so I can't see what's going on. So we have XHR. We get our table of contents, which is the stuff on the left hand side. And we have our button. The button is actually like headers, docs components button. So we're in components button, or components and then button.json. This JSON is like has stuff. It should be things like title or whatever, but that's a separate issue. And there's HTML. There's content. So let's have a look at the content. Wow. So yeah. HTML, and this is our content. I'm going to place. No, this one. Backslash n with actual backslash n. Replace all. And you might have noticed on software app, you might have noticed that these two things are exactly the same. And there's this. Well, it's interesting that it's escaped the inverted commas for HTML. Anyway, so the thing that Field Guide actually does is it transfers the markdown across the network, renders that markdown into HTML, similar but not exactly the same. What this is doing here. New. And then get rid of. Oh, don't save it. Save and then replace all. This HTML. We'll also beautify HTML. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Backslash. Let's place it. Oh. Save. Beautify HTML. Apparently it's as beautiful as it's going to get. So what we're doing here, not exactly the same if we look at that HTML, but essentially, oh, how can we actually look at HTML? I know. Components. We can look at the dynamic template. We can see let me have a look. Templates. Show this dot rendered content. Log rendered content. This dot rendered content. Now we'll actually see what's being passed into my dynamic template. Console. Ooh, much fancier. There's a little bit of magic where we have added this self-executing block, and it's showing you button. Well, this is interesting because that's not actually a glimmer button. No, custom button. Concepts. Yes, this one's better. Printed content, link to. This one's interesting because we have this self-executing code block, which essentially just gives you an example code in the front and then gives you the code in a pre-code block underneath. But this one, as you can see, link to isn't. It's not HTML. It's a Ember component. So this is actually a component that's really doing componenty things. So this is then passed into the compiler and then rendered directly, essentially. But the problem that I have here is that usually happens on the command line, and that's where Ember CLI kind of it excels. It does all this weird stuff, this packager stuff, etc. I'm wondering if we can hack it. I'm wondering if we could get to the actual thing in this. Yeah, see, this is what it is. It's this syntax.traverse, which I'm pretty sure must be Babel implementation, because it did say Babel earlier on, or Babel, depending on which. There you go. Mustache. Color ends. Digital. Doesn't do anything with syntax. I don't know how this dot syntax gets set. So let me just check something. This is the kind of thing that I think we might be able to get away with. Check 1 minute. Check and see if there's a no. In here. Look. I don't know what the structure of this thing is. A function visitor element. Okay. Just chatting. Ooh, well, folks, this is a doozy. Total doozy. Don't exactly do about it all. We should probably research, like, how to write an AST transform, and it might have an introduction. How it actually works, how it integrates with Fable or whatever it does. Oh, excuse me, the AST transforming for us. But it does look like there's a bit of information missing. Ooh. Looks like there's a bit of information missing. I don't know how to find that piece of information. Let's see. So I don't know what to do. The thing that I'm challenged with right now is that last time I had this conversation, the answer was very much, nah, don't want to do it. Not the point of Field Guide. Field Guide has a very specific use case. But it's kind of a challenge because that's a little bit of an bug on. So it's a kind of a naive assumption to say that I don't want to support this functionality because that's not what Field Guide is designed to do. Because that means that if I'm sitting here with Field Guide being this perfectly, non-compromised, abstract, right way to do things add-on, and I don't want to muddy it with reality, then nobody's going to use it. And I have a situation here where there is an opportunity that a relatively large organization could make it the standard for what they do for add-on. Now, there's a criticism there as well, where it's like we shouldn't be making. If you ever hear people talking about like startups or whatever, you shouldn't change your feature set for enterprise users because they have very specific things that they want you to do. But different way to think about it is that they may represent a weird subset of what people want to do, but it is still a subset of what people want to do. And if I want Field Guide to be like the de facto standard for add-on documentation in Ember, which would be great, that's really what I would ultimately want, because it's simplicity, then I have to support these sorts of things. So I have to figure out a way to support these sorts of things. Okay, so let's get back to it. Programming. This will probably be my last Pomodoro before I will call it quits today. Oh, let's have a look at the community goals. What are people doing? Wow, persistence to the timer. 58% raised. Nobody wants a button for the task list moving forward, but that's okay. We'll get to it eventually. Close that. Okay, so the thing that I have to figure out now, I think, is I have to figure out how this thing is actually executed. So we were looking at Ember CLI over here, and we have this call add-on preprocessor tree hook thing, and it's like tree type templates, preprocess template. Preprocess template. This PE. Ember CLI preprocessors registry. Is that a? Ooh, it's a. So what's happening here? Preprocess template. What did it say? Preprocessor. Preprocess template. Options registry.load template. Process plugins. Arguments. It's a broccoli kind of thing. Why is it a broccoli thing? Because I don't see this as being a tree transform. Tree. See, there's a piece of glue code that I'm not quite getting. If I search for add-on process tree project, post process type tree. Doesn't utilities add-on. Okay, this might be getting somewhere. Utilities add-on preprocess. Utilities.
I don't know what y'all think, but I think that's
Add-on
pretty.
pre. We have a look in models, add-on. Build Babel options for preprocessor. Is Babel.
You guys are so good at that.
Oh, this is so complicated. File template. This thing again, but that doesn't actually do anything. So much indirection here. It's hard to kind of figure out who is actually calling what and how. That's the thing. Like, that's the look at the function. Look at the name of it. Runs the templates through tree through preprocessors. Okay, so I have a preprocessor. Okay, let's go back to lib. The name transform, but that doesn't say preprocessor. Art plugin build dollar plug. Odd. Fable. Wonder if that's the key here. I find something that's like calling parallel Babel. No. What is? Is this it? A lot. See, I feel like this is a Babel plugin. Feel like, yeah, so this is the plugin. I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna just say that this is a Babel plugin. Okay. Okay. And then I'm gonna try that other yoke that we saw. Babel standalone. We'll install Babel standalone. Okay, so let's put that in our field guide. Let's try. Let's try so we want Babel from something. Standalone. Let's see what happens if we do that. Exploded everything. Good. Got button broken again. That's good. Do here. So log for now. My thoughts are that we should run. Perfect. Cannot find component. Perfect. So, what are we doing? So, we wanted to steal the full transform. This is like our plugin. And Babel is telling us to register the plugin. Thingy, and it's gonna be this thing. Good. Okay. Hasn't exploded yet. Then we want to transform. Here's the question. File template. Error, compile error, cannot file component, blah. Where is that? Did it compile in the first place? It did get that far, but I'm wondering if what this compiled template actually looks like.
Remember all the happy times we had?
Huh. It's a factory. Oops. I wonder if it's on the template string. But then do the thing because it's complaining about my format. this is the thing. I'm not entirely sure that's actually a playable transform. Gaming transform. Okay. EmberJS trans. Oh, fun. Template recast. Hmm. Grr. See, I just don't even know what this thing is. I couldn't figure it out from what it was recording it at. Lib. Transform. Registry. Hmm. This is very difficult. Default packager. Transfer config. Doesn't actually save it. Okay, and that's our time up. And let me have a look see. Double check to see if I continue. But yeah, so the conclusion of my investigations this morning is that it's very difficult and I can't even find the thing. Might need to pair with somebody who actually knows how this thing works to figure it out. It's tough because I can't actually figure out if there's a way around it. Like this thing that I explained earlier on where I don't want to precompile my handlebars. Well, that's a decision that I made very early on. I wanted to keep it simple. But I'm wondering, maybe if I get rid of that foundational simple assumption, or whatever you want to call it, maybe I would be able to get this to work, but that's quite a big re-architecture, isn't it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and see if there's any channel that I can raid. Ooh. Let's have a look. I've never done this before, but there is somebody who's on that I follow that I can raid. They're doing some .NET stuff? What are they doing? Is sharp? Eh. Yeah, let's go on. Let's try my very first raid, and let's go and raid Copperbeardy. I can preview. Interesting. Right, folks. We have one person wanting to raid with me. That's fun. Thanks everybody for hanging out, and it was a good stream, and I'll see you all next week. Bye.